Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to my guide at getting better at Overwatch by just changing some things in the options menu. Some of the stuff that we will be talking about will be subjective, but for the most part I think a lot of players and even pro players use a lot of these settings that we're talking about. Some of the stuff again is subjective and it is preference, but some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about is something that you will learn to actually like, and then on top of that some of the stuff that we're talking about, like for example the first one that we will be going over is field of view. This one is unarguably just so much better. Okay, so let's use this training bot here on the right as an example. Once it respawns, we'll use that one as an example. So right now I have my field of view set to 80, and we're going to go ahead and change that in the options menu to the maximum setting. So we'll use him again for example. So I can't even see him on my screen. The one on the right, like this arm, it doesn't even show at all. We're going to use this right here as a reference frame right here. So you guys can see, you can't see him at all. But if you go into the options and you go ahead and change your field of view and you max that out, right? Now you can see him. He's completely in view. You have all access to seeing every aspect of him. So that is one setting that I recommend you guys to make it go all the way to max. There's no reason why you should have it at a lower setting other than, I don't know, for whatever reason if it causes your game to crash. But have that as high as possible. That's going to give you more awareness in the game, and that's overall going to make you a better player, because whether you are a healer or if you are trying to kill someone, you want to be able to see your opponents before they can see you, and that can just help you out because some people don't have it on max settings. So that pretty much is an arguable, just a good setting to have. Now, the next setting that I want to talk about is something called your reticle and also the bloom. A lot of people, you'll see a lot of pro players, they'll use the green dot and they'll have bloom off. The reason why they do this is because it obscures some of the vision, and on top of that, in this game there are some weapons that when they shoot, they have no recoil essentially. Because they are just always going to not deviate from the original location of your cursor. So let me go ahead and swap to Soldier 76 so I can show you guys the example. So you can see that now it's a white dot. You can change this for each hero, which I think is really cool. But there are a lot of things that are specific to certain heroes. Like, again, Genji is not going to deviate. His shurikens are always going to go exactly where you put them. But Soldier 76, the longer you shoot, if you can see that larger circle, that's going to show you where the bullets will deviate from. So its original location is right here, and that's always going to be super accurate for the first 4 shots. For the most part, unless of course there's some other factors that are going to be going into the game, whether you're getting grabbed or something like that. So the first 4 shots will always go in the same location. Let me go ahead and show that to you guys. So you can see my ammo count is at 25 right now, and when I shoot, you're going to see the reticle or the recoil pattern will go up, but I'm going to put it at 4. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot my gun until it gets to 4 shots. The first 4 shots of Soldier 76 will always be super accurate. You'll see that they won't move, and I can even show you guys by putting my cursor over the head of the robot here, and we will all land headshots because the first 4 shots will be 100% accurate. Again, we're not counting in other factors in the game like you getting pulled by Roadhog or such things like that. So you'll see that it's 100% accurate. Like the first 4 shots will always go to the intended target. It's different for each hero, and I'm just going to go ahead and use this Soldier 76 as a good example because he's just relatively common, I would say. But yeah, that's something that you will have to factor in when you're playing. So like, you see how the circle, like, it's getting larger. When you get good at the game, you can, you know, be able to circumvent some of the recoil essentially by just bursting your shots. You can see how fast you can kill the targets if you're all landing headshots. And again, that comes with just practicing the game and knowing when to stop the burst if you want to be super accurate from those long distances, or if you need to pick off a specific target, you can be more accurate with that. I don't recommend you guys to have bloom on. Bloom is what's making that white dot have that extra, like, larger circle that's going around. I recommend turning that off because it obscures some of your vision. But the green dot is overall the best. So I'm going to go ahead and swap to Genji. You can change this on each individual hero in the options section. Let me go ahead and actually go to the options section and show you guys under the controls. You can select each hero. Now, I'll be going over briefly what each hero has as far as an option that you can change to make it a little bit better. But as far as shadows go, also in the options in this game, I recommend you guys to turn those on, unless in the future they come out with some hero that has cloak, which is a technique some people use in different RTS games like StarCraft, where you can see some of the units better depending on your settings. But at the moment there's no cloaked unit, so we don't have to really worry about that as of right now. But for the most part, I really recommend you guys to use the green dot. The reason why the green dot is overall the best, a lot of pro players also use the green dot. The reason why that they use the green dot is because Green, this like neon-ish green color here, it's really easy for people to visualize, whereas if you had it as the white, when you go over some white objects, it can be a little bit difficult to see. I know it's very, very minor, but some of the smallest things make a huge difference when you're playing this game at a very competitive level, or if you want to get better at the game. The reason why again people choose green, like I'm sure you guys seen some construction signs where they're like this neonish yellow greenish color, and the reason why is because it's very, very eye-popping and it lets you really visualize the target. But again, some heroes don't deviate from the shots don't deviate from the original target. Like Tracer, for example, if you keep on shooting, the recoil is going to get much higher. But again, when you practice, again, knowing how many shots you can fire before the shots deviate from the original target is something that you guys are going to have to practice depending on your hero. So going back to my point of changing some of the settings that are specific to each hero. So if I was going to options, and I was in the section over here, Genji has a specific option under hero. It says automatically climb walls. I recommend that to be turned on. The reason why is because it really helps you get out of situations when you're getting chased by getting chased by Winston or other targets that can like stick on you relatively hard. Like for example, D.Va can stick on you relatively hard, and sometimes you just need to be able to get out of the situation as quickly as possible, and you want to be able to mount and climb on the wall as fast as possible. This is something that is relative to Genji as well as Hanzo. Both of these guys can climb walls, so having that turned on, it really does help out quite a bit. At least for me, and this is again something that's subjective, but I think a lot of people will like this. Another setting that is something you can change in the options that's specific to a hero is Widowmaker. You can toggle her zoom ability, but in addition to that, you can change the sensitivity. So if I was to go to options and go to the controls, you'll see that under Widowmaker, you will see that her you can change the toggle zoom and the relative aim sensitivity while zoomed. So you can change that depending on your preference. So that is something that definitely can help you out. Another thing that is actually really relevant is to have Junkrat's tire go on the walls. And in addition to that, there's also something that's a quick little tip for you guys. We're going to have to build up his meter so we can actually get his ultimate, the Rip Tire. So while we're doing this, I can go ahead and talk about other things. So obviously, changing your key bindings is something that I think a lot of players already know about, so I'm not really going to go over that. Play with whatever you feel is the most comfortable. I feel like that's totally subjective, and I personally really like the ability to have things toggled on and off. The reason why is because that lets one of my fingers not hold down a button so it can be on another button. So one tip with Riptire, so you'll see under the options that you'll have this option to make it so under the Junkrat to have the Riptire automatically climb walls when you hit jump. So another tip that Junkrat has is when you have it in motion, you can hear that sound, right? But if I hug a wall, you can see that it mutes it. So that can be a setting that can really help you out. The mute thing is just when you're going up into a wall and you're basically up against the wall, and that'll make it so you don't hear the tire spin. So that can be also another like tip for you guys if you are a Junkrat player. Another tip that I really like, especially if you're teaching someone the game and you want to make them play healer, you want to make them play Lucio, is he has this option on crossfade to make it toggle. So that means that his ability to heal will always pretty much be on unless they are holding whatever key that they set to for crossfade. So that really helps out because sometimes people swap into the speed mode and they don't go back into healing, and it really frustrates people. It makes it so much easier. I'll show you guys under the options for Lucio over here. He has, again, that option to make it so you hold the crossfade. That means when you crossfade, if I hold F1, you guys can see this on the screen. Crossfade, I have mine keybound to Q, but anyways, it makes it so it'll be default left shift, but it makes it so they'll stay pretty much on healing for the most part unless they hold it. And I like that. I want people to play with that option on, again, if they are a newer player. But that's one thing for Lucio. Under Mercy, she also has the toggle ability, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that real quick. So Mercy has this ability to toggle the beam connection, and also make it so Guardian Angel prefers the beam target. That I highly recommend you guys to have that on. That's default set to on, but yeah, that just makes it easier to target what you would like to target. And obviously, if you're more likely trying to go to the person that you're healing, so that totally makes sense. Another option that I personally like, again, these are all subjective, is to toggle barrier. That makes it so if I am Reinhardt, if I right click, which is the default key, it holds up the barrier. I don't need to do anything. The reason why I like this is because it allows my finger to go on another button to activate it immediately, because sometimes you really need to either dash or you either need to shoot out that fire strike so you can do some damage. So it just allows one of your fingers to be free, and I like that. So that's just, again, something that I personally think is just better. That can help some of the players out, again, that are newer to the game. And in addition to that, even if you're a more advanced player and you want to get into like the competitive scene, I think that can definitely help you guys out quite a bit. Another hero is Zarya. This is really, really important. I think this one's one of the ones that is like more objective. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap to Zarya. So that lets you see your friendly's health. So you can see which target that you want to go ahead and shield up. That helps out so much, because if someone's about to die, you want to make sure that you are able to, you know, put the barrier on the target that probably needs to be barriered, rather than just, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and bury this target because, you know, this one's diving. Sometimes it's more advantageous to use your barrier later than earlier, because if you are able to have that player get the kill, and also you're able to shield another target, let's say, that goes in after, you could be at much more of an advantageous position. So I think this one is going back to the same point of the field of view. This one is unarguably probably just better, but again, some of the stuff that we talked about was subjective, but I think it will definitely help you guys out and make you guys a better player. If there's any other things that you think that I did not cover that were in the settings and the options in the game, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll definitely update and we can add more to this series. But that's how you can become a little bit better at Overwatch and make yourself a better player. Again, it's just learning some of the bloom on certain heroes. Again, for Slaydra 76, you can also change this under options. You can, one thing that I wanted to show off was some of the type. You can change it to crosshairs and stuff, but I think overall the dot is just going to be one of the better ones. Oops, I changed that to all heroes. So I'm going to go back to the dot. But specifically for Slaydra 76, I'm just doing this to show you guys. But I'm going to make his, let's go with the crosshairs. Again, you can see that the bloom, it's going away from the target, but if I was to just burst the target, okay, well, that target, I want to shoot the one that's far away so you guys can see that the deviations from the original point once this thing respawns. So you can see I can basically tap the gun and it won't have any recoil at all, but you see if I hold it down over here, you can see that it starts to bloom. So yeah, again, that's just something that you're gonna have to learn on each hero depending on what hero you have, but just for Slaydra 76, it's 4 shots and then it'll start deviating. But anyways, hope this makes some of you guys a better player. Like I said, if you guys want to add anything to this, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll definitely be adding more to this series. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'm signing out.